Your number one hype gal here, and welcome to the weekly warm-up, your weekly dose to feel a little more confident and a lot more human. I'm Jess McDowell, and each week I'll share life updates, mindset shifts, product faves, the little things that help me stay grounded, energized, and moving and grooving. Whether you're heading out for a jog, sipping your morning coffee, or just need a midweek pick-me-up, this is your warm-up for living a real balanced life. So take a breath, shake it out, and let's dive in. Welcome back to the weekly warm-up podcast. Today, it is a solo episode, and we are going to probably crunch through this episode. I was going to take a week off. It is my birthday week, though I don't have any crazy plans going on. I'm only turning 36. By the time you're watching this or listening to this, I will have already turned 36. I just felt like maybe this week was going to be a bit of a rest week for me, take some time off of social media, projects, things like that. And that has been the opposite, to be honest with you. I have been full speed ahead. So I figured, why take a break from the podcast then? Give the people what they want. So we are doing it solo episode. I have everything lined up. I have some pretty good topics that we're going to discuss today. So let's dive in. Okay, first things first. Yes, I'm getting my little mini tripod stand here that's holding my phone so I can look at my notes and open a few things that I wanted to discuss. Since it is football season, as we all know, college football, NFL, things are in full speed when it comes to upsets, when it comes to who is dominating. And I will say I am quite impressed with my alma mater, the University of Alabama. Because of that, I figured, why don't we give an ode, I believe it's called, an ode to our king, our, I was going to say God, but please don't come for me, our daddy, our everything, Mr. Nick Saban, who is going to be legendary GOAT for the rest of eternity on this earth. So I stumbled across something on Instagram that I thought was really cool. So we're going to start off strong. All you Alabama haters are probably already turning my podcast off. That is fine. I don't care. I still want to talk about this. It is Nick Saban, The 5 Enemies of Greatness. It starts off with a quote. It's by Nick Saban. He said this: "If everybody doesn't buy into the same principles and values of organization and the same high standard, you're never going to be successful." Ain't that the truth? And it takes a village to have everybody on board, but whoever is at the top really helps with the trickle down effect of keeping everybody motivated, everybody feeling equally appreciated, and ensuring that everybody is equally going after and achieving their goals that they want. And Nick Saban did just that. If you put the energy in and the effort in, he did the same, but he ensured he took care of every single player. And I love that. That is such a great metaphor for life. So let's continue to talk about this. Number one, again, this is the 5 enemies of greatness. The first one is entitlement. Don't get me started. Please, Lord, don't get me started. Here are the bullet points. Success makes people think they deserve more without doing more. I'll leave that there. Entitlement is the belief that past effort guarantees future rewards. Greatness only belongs to those who earn it again every day. You get up every day, you're entitled to nothing. Nothing is acceptable but your best. And Nick Saban said that. I'm pretty sure entitlement is something that we all deal with. I know I do. And for me, something I have to remember is that every day I get to wake up and do several things that I love and that I've worked hard to get to. And though we will have those days where we literally cannot stand anything, aka me for the past couple weeks, just because I've been PMSing and on my period. TMI, sorry. Oh well, womanhood, get used to it. And several times I realized this. And typically it takes me seeing circumstances that are not as good as mine to realize that, but that entitlement is real. And I am working on that every day of just things that I do, things that I say, and specifically, like it says right here, entitlement is the belief that past efforts guarantee future rewards. Things that I've done in my past has helped me get to where I'm at now has helped me get to the things that I've received now. But that doesn't mean it's going to continue to get me to where I ultimately want to go. We have to show up every day and we have to give our all every day and show that effort in order to move up in our lives, move up in whatever goals we have, and to really achieve greatness. Number two, lack of discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Ugh, say it louder for the people in the back. Without discipline, talent becomes wasted potential. The smallest lapse, being late, cutting corners, losing focus, compound into failure. It definitely does. And here's a quote from Nick: run hard when it gets hard to run. Everything starts with discipline. Practice until you can't get it wrong, not just until you get it right. If you don't respect it enough to do it right, when it's the right way to do it, how can you be trusted in the game? I'm obsessed with that. I don't remember ever hearing him say that. So that's really cool because this is also very new to me. And not only am I picturing myself as far as running goes, I know that sounds crazy, but obviously in life as well. And I love the idea that run hard when it gets hard to run. Everything starts with discipline. Practice until you can't get it wrong, not just until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Yes. Remember in grade school, elementary school, middle school, you would have to write out a word, or you'd have to write out a letter or a sentence, or if you were memorizing something, multiple times until you memorized it, you got it right, you spelt it right, whatever it may be. And that is exactly what I'm thinking. And I feel personally for myself as we get older that we lose that sense of practicing until you get it right. And how he said it, practice until you can't get it wrong, not just until you get it right. So we're practicing until we get it right. But we really should be practicing until you can't get it wrong. It will be physically, mentally, emotionally impossible to get it wrong. I love that so much. Three, circumstances over vision. Average performers let circumstances dictate their attitude and effort. Great performers stick to their vision no matter the conditions. I like that. Your standard doesn't change based on who you play, what the score is, or how you feel. And here's the quote: if you want to be good, you really don't have a lot of choices because it takes what it takes. That's pretty self explanatory. I think for me, what I really like the most is your standard doesn't change based on who you play, what the score is, or how you feel. I mean, in life, we have competition. In life, we don't always agree or get along with everybody. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. That is not going to dictate your success or your failure. And like you said, your standards don't change based on who you play. So at the end of the day, your morals, your standards, your level ground is going to remain the same regardless of the environments around you. Number four is self pity. The fastest way to lose is to feel sorry for yourself. I mean, we've all done it. I still do it today. I will have a temper tantrum. Anyways, self pity kills resilience and responsibility. Self pity kills resilience and responsibility. Saban's teams were taught no excuses, no complaints, just the next play. And here's the quote: everybody's got to be responsible for their own self determination. If you think that not confronting people who don't do the right things is helping your organization, you're absolutely wrong. If you think that not confronting people who don't do the right things and helping your organization, you're absolutely wrong. I want that to resonate because I find that in life, there's a lot of circumstances where we fear speaking up, or that we fear that our voice or our opinion matters and that we will get in trouble if we speak up, or that what we say won't be heard, or that eventually it will have backlash. And though under certain circumstances that may be true, depending on how you address the situation. However, I find that we don't speak up enough for ourselves and that we have this fear instilled in us, especially women, I will say, when it comes to personal situations, as far as family, as far as who's running the household as far as children, and then in career situations, compensation, what your title is, women being in charge versus men being in charge. There's a lot of situations where you feel like confronting is not going to do anything for you, or that is not going to be the right thing, but it is. And it will help you in the long run, no matter what. And sometimes if it backfires, there's a reason for that. And you might not understand it right away, but it's cliche. There's a reason. There's a reason. And I guarantee you, everything will work out in the long run if you do. Number 5, last but not least, complacency. The moment you think you've arrived, you start to decline. Complacency turns champions into ex champions. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's deep. Hunger and humility must outlast success if you want to stay great. And the quote, complacency creates a blank disregard for doing what is right. The one that I just went through my soul is complacency turns champions into ex champions. Yeah, in general. I've always been a person, and I have said this in articles that I've written that have been published. I've said this to people in general, but there's no such thing as never not learning, or am I saying this right? There's no such thing as knowing too much or having too much knowledge or getting to a certain level in your life, whatever it may be. Complacency turns champions into ex champions, which is spot on. If you have arrived somewhere and you feel like that is it, you have become an ex champion. Now, I understand when you're getting older, retiring, whatever it may be, but in life, we always want more. And that's not a bad thing. But the second you start to feel content, or that, oh, I've done it, this is all I need to do, or wake up every day and there's no significant climb that you're going towards, you're being complacent. I personally don't ever want that in life, no matter what, when it comes to all things. But I mean, to each their own. I really love that. Anyways, what a way to start off my birthday week episode than to talk about Nick Saban. That was not planned. I just thought about that. Talking about this, it was on my list of things. I have a insane story to tell. 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So beginning of October, I scheduled an afternoon, evening on a Sunday. Yes, to meet with my social media intern. We were going to do some content photo shoot that I had to do for brand partnerships. And then I took her to sushi for her 21st birthday. It wasn't her 21st birthday that night, but to celebrate her. We are in Coconut Grove, doing our influencer thing in the wild, getting all the pictures, getting all the angles, getting in the middle of traffic if we had to, minding our own business, mind you. I was about to do a video where I was walking across the street, stop in the middle of the street, do something really quickly with my outfit, and move on. We waited. Again, we're on a side road, so not traffic. I think it's a one-way. And there's a little side road, though, with a stop sign. So I'm getting ready to go in the middle of the road, or to walk. And these two kids, I don't know how old they are. They're no more than 14 for sure, because if they're riding bikes, I'm going to say between the 12, 13 marker. They're on their little electric bikes wearing helmets. They seem like they're more zoomed up, zooped up, however you say it, souped up, as far as the electric bike situation goes. I want to say they're in between an electric bike and a motorbike. I don't know the term, okay? Like a BMX bike, sure. But they're not going to go as fast as a BMX bike, and they're not going to go slower than an electric bike. Let's just call it as it is. Anyways, moving on. I saw them approach the stop sign, and I looked at them and I said, you guys can go. We're filming something. Don't worry about it. You guys can go. And I don't know what sparked something in them. I don't know if it was a little bit of social non-awareness or if something else was the issue, but immediately these two kids started to harass Gracie and I, to the point where we looked at them. They were saying weird, I don't know what generation they are, terms, that they all say. And then they were trying to get their phone out, thinking that we were going to get mad and then they were going to record us. At this point, I was genuinely shocked because I have not been attacked by little kids in my entire life. So this was my first moment that I could be a Karen, and that was not it at all. I was actually terrified because in today's world, I don't trust anybody, especially people in the wild, because of all the crazy shit that happens. I immediately looked at Gracie and I said to her, let's turn around and walk away. So we start walking away and they proceed to chase us and follow us. At this point, I started to actually really, really get nervous. So we were changing, or I was changing in a hotel. I told her, let's go inside the hotel and just hang out for a second. I think that's what we started to do. Maybe no, not yet. We were going to walk up the steps. So this was in the Grove area. So, you know, where the stores are and everything. So I walked up the steps next to where Carbone is. And we wanted to wait right there. And so I held off for a second and I just told her, maybe in this little circular area, if you want to call it, I'll film the walk. As I'm about to do that, I kid you not, these kids went all the way around and up to where we were again. And I don't know what they were saying. At this point, I've blacked out. I'm so terrified. My heart's racing. I'm thinking to myself, I have my phone on me. I don't know if I need to call 911 or not. I don't know what I need to do. I want to protect Gracie. So I just looked at her and I said, let's go down the stairs. Let's walk away. We're going back to the hotel and we're going to camp out there for a second. I didn't want to go near my car, even though my car was parallel parked really close, because I didn't want them to know what my car was just in case they were going to go mess it up. And immediately we turned around and we just started beelining it into the hotel lobby. And we just sat in there for a little bit and then walked out and finally they were gone. But I'm talking, this was a solid, at least in my mind, it felt like a 10, 15-minute situation where these two kids continued to just harass us, say the most weird, inappropriate things, wouldn't leave us alone, continued to follow us. I was genuinely shocked. And I thought to myself, I mean, you're in Coconut Grove area. It's a very nice upscale area. Not only that, I mean, you're on some motorbikes that I'm sure cost a pretty penny that clearly you didn't buy. So I want to say that your parents are good people. And I want to say that you come from, at least, if anything, a middle class family. I never in my wildest dreams once while I was younger ever thought to harass people like that. I just wasn't raised that way. In my mind, I never even thought that. And I mean, I was a wild child at times, and not once did I ever think about vandalizing or harassing people like that. It just really opened my mind to how crazy this world is now. And the idea that these kids go back to entitlement, have this entitlement that they can just do anything they want and be completely insane and then try to film it. I don't know what they wanted to do, share it or whatever. I even looked at Gracie. We weren't talking at all because, one, I'm not going to try to catch a lawsuit from these deadbeat parents or deadbeat kids. And two, I'm not wasting my time. I mean, clearly there was something wrong with them, but it's just crazy to me. It's so crazy. They're trying to pick a fight with you so you'll freak out so they can try to film it. I will never understand it for the life of me. But anyways, that happened and I definitely was so uncomfortable. I really hope that karma happens to those kids of some sort. I know that sounds bad. Moving on. I'm starting a series on Instagram and I figured I'm going to turn the series into something where I can discuss it longer on the podcast. I'm not entirely sure if the video or the reel will be out before at the same time that this episode comes out, but I like the idea of being able to talk about this series. It's basically a series of me breaking down running tips and tricks that I personally have used and have worked for me. And I always forget what I called it. It's something cute. I really like it. I'm going to look it up. Hold on. What did I say it was called? Oh, Between the Miles. Between the Miles. So it's going to be a series that's going to come out on Instagram, and I'm going to break down all these different topics. And the first topic is going to be about running gels. As Fabletics Run Club or Miami Run Club host, fitness expert, nutrition expert, been in the game, you know the drill. I get asked a lot of questions, and I realize that I'm not utilizing sharing that with my community because I'm 99% sure that the questions that I'm asked, other people have those questions as well, and they might not be answered. And I figured I'm going to help y'all out. So, the first topic is running gels. Basically, the proper way to use running gels and how to make them most effective for you during your run. First of all, you want to think of your energy as something to maintain, and maintain meaning keeping at that same consistent level throughout a long period of time or a longer period of time. If you're running, I'm assuming you're going to be running for 30 minutes to an hour, let's say, sometimes more. But the whole point is that you do not want your energy levels to drop. So if you're running and your energy starts to deplete, you're never going to get back up to where you were. You could try to maintain where you're at, but that's obviously not going to help with the performance output. Yes, this also has to talk about training, VO2 max, conditioning, XYZ. But in this sense, that's what you want to do is maintain those energy levels. And you want to start off with your energy levels at peak performance. For this particular topic, we're going to talk about running between 5 and 10 miles and how we're going to do the gels. Disclaimer, we're not talking about fueling your body nutrition wise. And right now, we're not talking about fueling your body hydration wise. I am aware that that takes into how your body starts and maintains energy. We are specifically talking gels. What you're going to want to do is think about one gel every 3 miles max. Max. That means what I'm going to do, and I love 2 gels specifically, though you can do anything you want. Gels, choose. I love Never Second, the C30. It is the citrus flavor. I don't go crazy with flavors. Never Second is carbs only, 30 grams of carbs. I'll take that about 30 minutes before I run. That way I just get a little extra carb boost, getting my body going. Now on the run, I will use Martin. I love Martin gels. They are the best. I use the one that have the caffeine and the carbs. So it's 100 milligrams of caffeine. And I believe 100, no, I don't think there's 100 carbs. I think there's 60 grams of carbs, 25 grams of carbs, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, and that's what I'll keep to fuel my body consistently throughout the run. But I will bring one extra Never Second. So if I'm going 10 miles, that would be 3, 6, 9, 12. So what I think is 3 Martin gels and then one for good luck, because you never know if you just need it. And then also that would be my Never Second. The reason why you want to do it every 3 miles, that's going to maintain your energy levels where you're not depleting. You're consistently fueling your body. So as your body starts to deplete the energy that it was just using, it's already gearing up and fueling your body with what you just took in. So that's my tips and tricks. This is the long-winded version of my series, but I felt like it was very, very important to share. And I guarantee you, once you start that, you will see a hell of a difference, But it is very important to take a gel 30 minutes before you run, and then every 3 miles max, take a gel and always have one for good luck. Since we're on the topic of running and gels and conditioning and cardiovascular output, I figured I'd talk about VO2 Max just a smidge because VO2 Max, when we are having our watches or our smart gear record it, it's accurate, but not 100% accurate. Like you're getting an actual VO2 max test where you're putting on the oxygen mask and you're running and they're testing all different levels. However, your VO2 max is basically your maximum cardiovascular output that you can do at peak performance where you would just drop dead. And you want to have a really good VO2 max. Obviously, those that are more conditioned have a higher VO2 max and a lower resting heart rate. And this is kind of where we go into not being sedentary and getting some type of cardio movement throughout the day or in general for people is because of the fact that it's good for your heart, but also it's good for your VO2 max and your output. And let me break it down. Fun fact, our body circulates about 5 liters of blood per minute for oxygen. And that's what we're wanting to think when we're thinking VO2 max. For example, if you are trying to work on your performance output, your cardiovascular output, the goal for you is not just to do a ton of sprinting, though that's going to be very beneficial, interval training, sprint training, so working out on the track, as far as then also doing your long runs. But you're also going to really want to focus on your cross training as well and working in your zone 2 training. Sustaining longer periods of cardiovascular output is what's going to help gradually increase your VO2 max, but also that's what's going to help with your heart rate and your resting heart rate and how your heart rate recovers in between bursts. For me, I love doing a combination of cross training. So having an interval training day, a couple days a week, having obviously your long runs, working on your strength training that is super important as far as the stronger your body is, the better performance you'll have. Mobility, agility is really important as well. So being well-rounded is all going to benefit to improve your VO2 max. It's not just about the cardio. It's not just about being able to run fast and breathe while you're running fast. There are so many more factors to that. And I don't think people understand that when they're training. If they're just trying to maintain a healthy, fit lifestyle, doing only one or two things is not going to help you progress. And it's also going to have your body plateau really quickly, especially if you are trying to improve. If you're trying to get that muscle mass, if you're trying to do lean and tone, if you're trying to get faster, you're trying to get better with longer miles, you're going to have to cross train. You can't just do one thing. Or if you're noticing that you're just doing, let's say, Pilates, you're going to be elongating your muscles, doing higher repetition. Yeah, that's great. But your overall body strength and your bone density, it might be different. So that way, sometimes having a heavier lifting day than just doing one thing. Or for instance, if you're just doing yoga with some running, that's amazing. That's great for mobility. That's great for flexibility. And then obviously running is really great for cardio. At the same time, overstretching and being over flexible at times can actually become a detriment to you. Having it where you're well-rounded is super important. And I promise you, if you were trying to work on that VO2 max, let's just say for me, for instance, that's something I love looking at and I love, getting better at because it really shows your athleticism and it really shows your training. You're gonna want to picture it that way. Anyways, food for thought. That's it. You don't have to worry about it ever again after me talking about it. All right. I already am aware that I read off of something I read that was with Nick Saban, but I find that this is knowledge and knowledge is power. And me reading something that I really like and resonates with me might resonate with you. And that's the whole point of sharing things. So, another thing I saw as of late is about a study of 128,119 people found that exercise outperforms pharmacies for depression. Well, not for nothing, no shit. I'm not surprised, but for some reason, maybe the general population does not know that, or maybe this is a way to share that pharmaceutical companies are taking over just how people live. I am one of those. I do take a sleeping pill because I've had horrible sleep problems my entire life. Do I know if I would still have sleep problems today if I wean myself off? I don't know, but I'm not in that stage of life where I can do that. I do take Adderall. I've been diagnosed with ADHD in elementary school. I have an anti anxiety medication that I take because I have been diagnosed with lots of anxiety and depression from past traumas. We are all working on things. I am not afraid to say that truly because that's just my norm, but also to realizing that maybe pharmaceutical companies have gone a little too far when it comes to how we're medicating people and how we can get people out of mental health ruts through physical activity. So I wanted to talk about this study. A 2023 meta analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, encompassing 97 reviews, 1,039 trial, and a substantial 128,119 participants, found that physical activity was significantly more effective than either counseling or common antidepressants in reducing symptoms of depression, anxiety, and psychological disorders. 100%, especially when it comes to exercise. My anxiety levels immediately drop, depression levels. So, this is it too. My depression doesn't go away right after I work out. It's helping with subsiding it and letting my body come down to a resting state and my nervous system coming down from, my heart blowing off the chain and your nervous system being all over the place from not breathing properly or overthinking, like I've talked about in an episode 2 episodes ago about how we have 4,000 thoughts in a 16-hour time span. We are essentially killing ourselves. And I can agree that exercise and exercise often helps subside depression, anxiety, and I love the psychological disorders. That one's huge because today, especially with mental health, we have a lot of psychological disorders that obviously then sometimes really turn into horrific acts of violence that happen in our world. Moving on. The largest benefits were observed in individuals with depression, pregnant and postpartum women, and those diagnosed with HIV or kidney disease, suggesting a wide range of applicability. Some words just don't work with me. This was really, really, really fascinating to me, and I was not expecting that. I am aware, not been pregnant, let me say that, but I am aware that women of postpartum, that is very, very significant, and that happens more often than none. I'm not really going to dive into HIV. I don't have a lot of background or knowledge. Kidney disease, that was really interesting to me. I do know some people that have kidney disease, and not going to lie, they go through a lot. So I could imagine that it could be really taxing on their mental health. There are incredible neurochemicals and brain health benefits gained from regular exercise. Physical activity also increases the level of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which are crucial for regulating mood, focus, and attention. Similar to what I was just talking about, exercise versus a chemical substance is that in exercise, we're able to gradually release the dopamine and serotonin as we're working out and lower our heart rate and lower our blood pressure and lower that anxiety and depression and calm our nervous system. Where sometimes when there is a pharmaceutical drug involved, it can alter your brain chemistry in a different way. You can become more obsessive or addictive to something else, or the way that it is gradually, or not really gradually, but how it's dissolving, whether it's extended release or not in your system, that can really take an effect. Exercise also improves blood flow to the brain, which increases oxygen and energy supply, leading to better brain performance and enhanced cognitive processes like memory and attention. But also, I wanted to say something. This is a fun fact. If you're feeling tired, so if you're working in an office or if you are like me right now, sitting and talking in a podcast, if you're doing things that are a little bit more sedentary, or if you're finding in general that you are feeling fatigue and tired, or you're constantly yawning, get up and do 20 to 50 jumping jacks. Get up and do some high knees, or don't have to go for a run. I'm not talking about getting sweaty and starting a workout, but go do something for 2 minutes that gets your heart rate going. That's going to bring oxygen to your brain. And I guarantee you're not going to be yawning anymore. You're going to wake up a bit because your blood's pumping and flowing, and you're going to get a little bit happy. I promise you're going to feel better and you're going to be ready to move and groove. Trust me. Exercise also promotes the growth of new brain cells. We know that, and strengthens connections between existing ones, particularly in the hippocampus, which plays a key role in mood regulation. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Obviously, I'm not a neurologist or a neuroscientist. So when I'm reading these words, I hope that I'm saying hippocampus right. I love that we have something in our brain called the hippocampus, or it's not the, but hippocampus, what plays a role in our mood regulation. The rest of the article just kind of goes over better sleep, better mood stabilizer, happier life, happy wife, happy life. Just kidding. Your overall relationships are better. Your overall performance is better as far as personal, relational, career goes. But what I find that was really amazing is that there was 128,119 studies and that found physical activity with a significant more effective than any other counseling or common antidepressants in reducing symptoms of depression, anxiety, and psychological disorders. That is monumental. These are the things and the studies that I want to see more of, and why I want to see more funding going towards mental health, as well as ways that we can improve overall lifestyle changes to make people less violent and angry and sad and all the things. Okay, I kind of had to set the mood because it is getting dark. I love my place because it has the most amazing natural light. I'm on the water. I get basically the sunrise and the sunset. Actually, not basically, I do. So I have light all day, especially the natural light, but the sun's got to set at some point, right? Y'all, I think it's time that we dive into products that I'm digging this week. Let's do it. All right. The Lactaid 4% milk fat cottage cheese. First of all, I am not lactose intolerant. I've never really been affected by milk as far as upset stomach goes, things like that. I have a family that started a dairy farm. I've been drinking milk from an udder since I was born, but sometimes I don't want the enzymes in milk. So that's basically what would make someone lactose intolerant or make someone feel uncomfortable, that heavy, weird feeling. I don't know how else to call it because I've never really experienced it, but that's what I'm talking about. Though sometimes with the enzymes in regular milk, you can have breakouts or you can have inflammation. Rarely it happens. Long story short, which is not long story long, I sometimes like to just have Lactaid. And I will have Lactaid milk, I will have Lactaid cottage cheese, and that way I can still have all the benefits of milk because I believe in real cow's milk for your bones and for your calcium and overall health. So that's where we go. I took the tag off this, but I have the other bag, though. Don't think you're going to find it anywhere here because this was a gift from Rome, Italy. Two girls whom are twins, Francesca and Isabella. They are my outstanding, love them to death employees. They're not employees. I hate saying that. They're fitness attendants of mine at my director of fitness role. And they brought me back a plethora of chocolate from Italy. And these, I started looking at them and my brain started shutting down. Okay, we got to end this episode. These pistachio treats of chocolate filled yummy joy are absolutely insane. And I only have 3 left. So I'm going to hide them in my freezer to forget about them. But these had to make product of the week. Products I'm digging this week, not product of the week. I just realized it's a lot of food, but there's drink and NAD. I have been on NAD injections, shots, whatever you want to call them. Thank God this is a podcast. So I don't have to worry about what I can and can't say on Instagram and what I can and can't say on TikTok because God forbid they banned you and they shadow ban you and we don't have social media. It's up to here. I've had it up to here really with all of this because at the end of the day, there should be no reason why I can't say NAD injection. Okay. There is no reason why I can't say needle. It is a word. I'm not saying you need to go inject yourself with a needle full of heroin. Anyways, NAD helps with mood. Can't you tell? So I've been on NAD about 6 weeks now. I think I'm on my 6th week. I take 3 shots a week. Each week goes up 10 units. I started at 10 units. Now I'm at 50 units. I don't think it goes higher than 50. I think now I just maintain the 50, but it has been such a game changer. I'm noticing my energy levels stay really consistent, meaning after 2 weeks of having it, I have more energy I have sustained energy longer. I would say that my sleep has definitely improved. For me personally, I've noticed my skin, I've noticed my energy levels, and my mood stabilizers. Yes, those three, definitely. But obviously, we've talked about NAD multiple times on this podcast because I'm just such a fan of things like this that how can you not continue to talk about it? But yes, my NAD, I love it. It also recreates cells or duplicates your cells to help with anti-aging. It's not going to make you young because you can't be Benjamin Button, but it's going to help with aging. What it does is take your cells that you currently have and dose them up. Anyways, love it. Next, which I actually need a sip of this because I'm really thirsty. I have not taken one beverage break this whole entire time. This is the first time I have not taken a sip of anything. I have my Celsius over there that's half drank because I only like to do a half now, because especially if I'm filming at night, but I haven't even gotten a sip of water. So we're going to open this bad boy. It is the Iberia Aloe. It's an aloe vera drink and it has little aloe pulp chunks in it. Don't knock it till you try it. It does come in flavors, peach, pineapple. I don't know what the other one is, probably papaya. I think I just finished the peach one or the pineapple one, which are insane, so good. They do come in smaller bottles, but I just love to get the big one because why not? Hold on, I am having a sip. Oh, I absolutely love it. It helps with hydration. Aloe is so good just for your overall health, but also to, again, for your skin. Don't knock it till you try it. Aloe vera right here, this bottle. I talked about this, not on here. I think I mentioned this in a story, Instagram story. One of my personal trainers that, again, on my team brought me, and he thought it was very funny considering it's not health and wealth, but a Hershey's pie from Burger King. I don't remember the last time I had one of these. I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to eat this tonight. I actually need to throw it back in the fridge because I personally like them when they're cold. I do know that they want you to kind of have it at room temp, but I haven't had these in eons. I don't remember the last time I had one of these. I used to tear these up in high school and I cannot wait to try. So I just wanted to do a little walk down memory lane with the Hershey's pie. Okay, last but not least, this is my first time trying these. Did I get these at Publix? I did. I got these at Publix. The brand is called Top Fox and they're snacking pumpkin seeds. They had different flavors, but some of the flavors, sometimes I wonder what people are doing and what brands are thinking. Clearly, people are buying it though. I just got the Himalayan pink salt, but it has 8 grams of protein per serving, top 9 allergen free. They are crispy and crunchy, very tasty. I got these because lately I have been in a kick to make a little meat and cheese kind of healthy snack board, you could say, for a midday snack. And instead of adding cheese, because obviously sometimes cheese can just give you bubble guts, I do a little peppered, it's not pepperoni, peppered salami like meat. I'll have these snacking pumpkin seed peanuts and then the parm crisp, little Parmesan crisp. So you're getting your hint of cheese without feeling like you're kind of diving into the whole thing of cheese. And then did I get anything else for it? Because I didn't want to do almonds because I thought this was fun. I felt like I got something else, but I forgot. I don't know. Anyways, that's what I'm loving these days. And it is just the perfect snack for a little energy boost to get your protein in and you're moving and grooving. Well, look at that. That concludes products I'm digging this week, which means the episode is about to be over. Look at this. I really hope you all enjoyed this because this is what's setting the tone for my 36th year. I think that we had some really great topics. I'm really excited for what this year brings me. I always talk about there's another trip around the sun. And though 36 is not some monumental age, I don't feel any differently. I'm excited just for another year to see what it brings me. I haven't written down what I'd like to achieve or what I hope to have happen in my 36th year. Sometimes I think about it and sometimes I want to just leave it up to the wind. Either way, that's that.